Hey, what up? Welcome back to the channel. So you may be joining me for the first time, or you may be here for the second time after seeing my video, this video, or is it up here? I don't know which side it's, I think it's on this side of the screen. If you saw this video about me getting REJECTED rejected from med school. So some people have been asking for updates, which I never really expected. I didn't think like 8,000 people would sit there and watch a poor, sad failure of a woman opening up her med school rejection letters. But yeah, that happened. And so now here we are, round 2, year 2, gap year, and we want updates. I'm gonna try and keep this as quick as I can. Let's talk about the gap year. So I guess my gap year technically started in May. Okay, March was when the COVID-19 pandemic hit. In March, I started volunteering at Canadian Blood Services, so that's something that I can now add to my application. And I had also signed up, and I had applied to volunteer for Distress Centres of Greater Toronto, which is a mental health emotional distress hotline. And I also signed up to be a mentor for the Big Brother Big Sister program in York region. So I eventually got those positions. It took some time. I started my training for the Distress Center in December, and I got a mentorship position that started in January, and that went on for 8 weeks. I just finished up, and I'm going to continue in a new session. But anyway, just experiences to add. And then from October till now, I've been volunteering at a homeless shelter every Sunday. One of my friends asked me, she was like, don't you feel depressed after working on the hotline or going into the shelters and seeing this? And it's really not like that. You just feel grateful at the end of the day for being able to give back and help other people. And so the homeless shelter was supposed to close last Sunday, and I was kind of sad. I made them all cookies, and the one guy asked, he was like, "Oh, when's your next shift?" And I was like, "Well, the shelter closes this week because they only run it in the cold months." But because of COVID, one good thing is that they extended the shelter season, so now we're going until June 13th. So that's good. I'm glad I can see them again this Sunday. But anyway, that's kind of what I did with my gap year. In May, I started my application with AMCAS. I think that's what it's called. American Medical, something like that. The American application service. I can make another video, if you guys want to comment below, I can make another video where I go through my whole application. That's not what this video is. I applied to 25 schools. Like, I applied to the Ivy League schools because my dad said shoot for the stars, you know, whatever. So I was doing that, and then I applied to some other schools that just kind of appealed to me based off location and like mission statements and stuff. So 25 schools. Maybe I can flash the list right here. These are the list of schools that I applied to. I don't even remember them all. Like, people would ask me, where'd you apply? And it's like, I applied to 25 places. How do I know? The American medical application system is a lot different than, not a lot different than Canada, but somewhat different. You do a primary application for all those schools, and then you get secondary applications. Some schools actually look at your primary before they send you a secondary, mostly the ones in California, but most of the other ones just send you the secondary. And then you pay more fees when you submit your secondary, which is lots of fun. It's just, I'm burning money. So I did that. I applied to the Ontario medical schools again. I think just not Northern Ontario School of Medicine, because I feel like they have a preference for Northern applicants, and that's not me. Western Ontario, University of Western, is that what it's, Western University? Western, whatever. Western prefers people from Western Ontario too, so that's a bit of a disadvantage if you're not from there, but whatever. Did that. I was going to apply to like Alberta and other places, but my CARS score was 1 point too low. That's like the lowest part on the MCAT for me. I think I got a 127, and you need a 128 to apply to U Alberta, so couldn't do that. Not if you live in Alberta. If you live in Alberta, you can apply with the score that I got, but if you don't, then you need a higher score. So That's me. I didn't apply to UBC again. I had done that last year. But yes. Okay. So that's what I did. I did all these other experiences. I worked for a bit. The lifeguards got redeployed like 50 times, so I was lifeguarding at some points. The summer was fine. I was able to teach my private swimming lessons. That was fun. Look at this kid. She's a legend, isn't she? Like, that's one of the kids I teach, and she's like 5 years old, swimming immaculate front crawl. I have a lot of fun doing that. Anyway, then we got redeployed to skate patrol. Here's some footage of that. That was a lot of fun too. And then I got rejected from a lot of places. The rejections were rolling in. And we actually did an interview on a podcast I have with a friend of mine called the Brain Core Podcast. Go check that out. We did an interview with a bunch of clinical psychologists and researchers about imposter syndrome. And literally, I was in tears when one of the psychologists, Nick Rule, he said something about rejections and how repeated rejections make us start to doubt ourselves so much that when we actually get good news, we think that the good news is a fluke, or we don't actually accept the fact that we did something well. So if you feel that, just know you're not alone. Maybe check out that episode. Maybe I'll put a clip of the episode. Okay, let's play a clip.
Have people begun looking at it in the context of the imposter syndrome? And I've definitely felt that. And I think you feel it at different times as you grow in your career in different ways. And so at every sort of step, there's been times where you definitely self-doubt and daunt yourself, and you underestimate yourself. And I think that's obviously not always fair to us either. And so we hold ourselves back. And, maybe we should put our hat in the ring at times when we don't.
But anyway, that was a really nice episode. And we also did another interview with a NASA professor named Richard Adante, Dr. Richard Adante. He says just call him Rick, so whatever, we're best friends now. And Rick said the same thing, and at the end of the interview, when we were just chatting, he had all his rejection letters framed on the wall, and he showed him. He was like, want to see my rejection letter from NASA? And he showed us. And it's humbling to see people in those positions, where you want to be, show off their rejections. And I guess that's kind of what I'm doing, but I'm nowhere yet. So I like to share the journey as it goes, because together we're going to see where I end up. So anyway, then I got an acceptance, and I felt exactly like they described. Not an acceptance, an interview invite. I was on a call for the podcast again. We were chatting, and then I went to the kitchen and just habitually I picked up my phone just to check it before I ate lunch, and I had a freaking email on my screen, and it was interview invite Cornell, and I was like, is this a mistake? Is this correct? Is it right? Because the subject line straight up says it. When you get rejected, they don't put Harvard rejection in the subject line. They make you open it. They say, decision from Harvard or whatever. They don't let you know, so you still have hope as you're opening it that it might be an interview invite, but it's not. If they do invite you to an interview, it literally says, Cornell interview invite. I lost it. My family was jumping around the kitchen, and then I was shaking from adrenaline, so I went downstairs and worked out, whatever, signed up for my interview. They were like, oh hey, can you actually move it a week forward? I was like, sure, why not? Who needs time to prep for interviews? Moved it forward. Because I know in the US they have rolling admissions, so I was like, will it be an advantage to me? And then my PI, his wife went into labor, and he was planning on helping me prep for the interview. Then his wife had her baby early, and it was my own fault. I jinxed it. But anyway, yeah, I had help from him. I had help from another friend, which was really nice of them. I really appreciate that. Did the interview. It was just casual. It was conversational. Here's footage of me on interview day, all excited. But But don't let that fool you. Because the excitement on interview day, there's highs and lows. Highs and lows at any point in life. I was bawling at the kitchen table. Like, I was just making cookies after a skate patrol shift, and then my sister came in and she was like, why are you even working? Like, you should be preparing for your interview. Why do you do this job? Like, you're gonna pay minimum wage to watch people skate. And it's like, it's COVID, I kind of want to get out of the house too. I don't want to just be sitting at home thinking about my med school interview. But anyway, then I started bawling as I'm making my cookies because I started to put so much pressure on me because I was like, this is my one shot, my one interview. Like, how do I prove to them how badly I'm gonna get choked up saying this. How do I prove to them how badly I want it? Like, you're just meeting somebody for what, an hour, less than an hour. How are you gonna like express all the qualities you have and how hard you've been working for this? So I was crying, and then my younger sister came in and she found me crying at the kitchen table. But anyway, the day after that scenario where my younger sister hugged me and she was like, Christina, you know, like, you might get more interview invites, who knows? The next day after, I get an interview invite to Queen's in Canada, and she was like, see, I told you. I got out of the shower and I was like, yo, I saw it on my phone, the notification. Oh my gosh. Just got an interview at Queen's too. Finally. Anyway, that was an MMI interview.
Take a deep breath and relax. You worked so hard for this.
Getting an interview is a huge accomplishment, and you should be incredibly proud of yourself.
I am proud.
Now, typically, if interviews were done in person, there would be a huge line of us outside the MMI stations, ready to congratulate you and give you a high five for the job well done. Although we can't do that this year, we still want to say hi and thank you for interviewing here at QMed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Best of luck and stay safe and healthy.
Oh, I'm gonna cry. Okay, so that was interview 2 of 2. Stressful. Can't reveal the questions that I was asked. I have to burn these notes now. But here I am. Look, I wore my nice pants. I wore my nice pants for no reason because nobody ever sees my pants. It's fine. It's really fine. Here I am. Oh my, I'm not sweating as much as I was last time. It wasn't that bad. The questions, I didn't even have like extreme ethical questions. Anyway, I hope I move on to the next round. Queens is a beautiful medical school. Beautiful campus. It's right by the lake. I can just envision myself jogging there every morning when I'm in med school. That's the thing. You know you have a problem when that's the thing that gets you excited, jogging by the lake. Well, I need a change in scenery because right now I've been jogging at home in King City through the rolling hills of farmland, and I'd love to jog by a lake. I'm Greek. I come from the ocean. Sorry, I'm just resetting my table because I put all the stuff that was cluttering my desk onto my bed so that it wouldn't be behind my interview. But anywho, step 1 done. Step 2 coming soon. I hope they liked me. I really do. Anyway, I got rejected from Queen's a couple of weeks after the interview. So it was Cornell interview, a couple of weeks Queen's interview, and then rejection from Queen's. At that point, I went out and I went for a run because I was just feeling defeated. So I was just out for a jog, and I had to go because today I got my rejection letter from Queen's. So I had actually gotten an interview at Queen's,
but I just got informed that I won't be moving on to the panel interview section. So it's a weird feeling. I'm not as upset as when I got rejected, because I made it onto the interviews, so I know I can at least go that far, and I have confidence in my ability to get an interview. But now obviously there's some things I need to do to improve my interview scores, clearly. So yeah, I just needed to go for a run to get that into perspective, because even though I'm feeling okay with it, the thing that makes me upset is knowing that I'll have to share this with my family. And knowing that I had a family member who messaged me on Facebook asking me if I got in. First they messaged my mom, and my mom said no, but she feels good about it. She's not allowed to say anything though. And then they messaged me to see if that was because I got in, which it wasn't. And it's just upsetting to know that there's people out there that are expecting you to get in, and it's not so much the expectations I put on myself that are hard to deal with. It's more the knowledge of the expectations others will put on me, because I know that I'm doing things to improve each and every day. I'm, working on it, but at the end of the day, when you tell somebody you got rejected, I had somebody say to me, if you didn't get in last year, what makes you think you can get in this year? And that was just shocking to have somebody come out and say that. Like, if you don't get in once, you just keep trying, you keep improving, and what makes me think that I'll be able to get in next time is my perseverance and my ability to look back on what I did wrong and my ability to improve. So that's that. So I'm just outside my elementary school. I usually come here when I need to think and put my life back into perspective, because this essentially is kind of, this is where I went for grade 3. Like, these are the doors we used to line up in front of when we were waiting for the school day to start. And I come back to here because in the 3rd grade I was so excited about learning, and I thought I could do anything. So I come back to just remind myself of that time in my life where I had hope, because sometimes it's just hard.
I don't know if I got rejected from Queen's before or after I got waitlisted for Cornell. So I'm still on Cornell's waitlist. I'm just like, what are the odds I get off the waitlist? How many people are on the waitlist? It's a weird waitlist. They don't number it. They're just like, it's based on interest. We will re-review your application. So I wrote a letter of intent. I was like, hey everyone, like, yo, I really want to go to your school. Not like that, better than that. And then I started having anxiety again, and like, just, I woke up crying one night. I didn't know why, but I think like deep down I suppressed my emotions so much that like in my sleep it was coming out, and I just woke up and I was just like shaking and crying, and I was like, what is wrong with me? And then again a couple times, here's my mental breakdowns. But yeah, why I'm sharing this with you is because I think a lot of the times, we see highlight reels. Why am I getting choked up? We see the highlight reels of everyone's life. Like, people post, even on LinkedIn. Like, LinkedIn is so destructive to me. You log on and people try to seem humble. Like, sometimes they'll be like, oh, I got like 35 rejections from jobs. And you're like, yeah, same, I relate. But then you see like, oh, this 16-year-old is a rocket engineer for NASA and also a brain surgeon at the same time, and you're just like, what am I doing with my life? I'm 22 years old, living at home, chilling with my glow-in-the-dark flamingo. So we look at other people's highlight reels and we're like, oh my gosh, this person's so amazing. And we have highlight reels too, but we just don't pay attention to ours. you should pay attention to your highlight reel. How long is this going on? I don't know how long my vlog is. Like, just, you know, pay attention to your highlight reel. Take some time. Sometimes just write down, like, things that you're proud of. I've started doing that. I've started writing down, like, daily celebrations. I know if you watch my MCAT prep videos, before I would go to bed, I would look myself in the mirror and say, you're smart, you're beautiful, you're funny, you're gonna ace the MCAT. And I didn't do bad at the MCAT. I mean, I did okay. Not bad enough that I have to rewrite it. I could probably do better if I rewrote it, but like, I'm not trying to prep again and drop another $300. So that's my story. I'm waitlisted for Cornell. Pray for me. In the meantime, I also did get accepted to St. George's University of London, which is an MBBS program, which is the equivalent of an MD, just the UK version. So I may end up going there. I also have been accepted to a Master's of Clinical Psychology program. So I may do that and then apply again. Or just apply again. I'm just so lost. I'm not the type of person that plans, and it's really bad. I know, like, your typical med student that you meet has been plotting their venture into medicine since they were, like, in the 8th grade or even before that, and they knew about all these things that I didn't know about, like the MCAT and the time that you have to write it, and what it's like applying to medical schools and the type of experiences you need on your application. Like, I didn't know that. So now, you know, I just have to accept the fact that I have to take these 2 years to catch up on the stuff that I wasn't doing that I could have been doing then. But at the same time, it's like, I'm chilling. I learned a lot this year. I've had a lot of new experiences. Like, there's no way I would have been able to go to undergrad and volunteer at 5, am I doing 5? Canadian Blood Services, I think 4. Go Girls Mentor, the homeless shelter, and distress center. Okay, so 4 places. Like, you're not going to undergrad, working part-time, and volunteering at 4 places, realistically. I don't know who can do that. I don't know who has the amount of time in the day to do that and then, like, live their own life. You have to find the balance, and I'm still working on that. So anyway, in respect to last year's video, cue the music. Here we go with this year's rejections. Ready? Rejected, rejected, you just got rejected. R-E-J-E-C-T-E-D, rejected. I think I remembered how to spell rejected this year. R-E-J-E-C-T-E-D, rejected. Makes sense, I've read it so many times, so I should know how to spell it. But yeah, there's my story. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Leave a prayer in the comments for my Cornell waitlist. Get me into Cornell. Check out my podcast, the Brain Core Podcast, with Tolu Faramika, one of my friends. I forgot. Since you're here at the end of the video, you should also check out my other YouTube channel, NeuroSciQ. That's what I do for work. This lab that I work at literally pays me to make YouTube videos about neuroscience. So check out that channel too. I do other stuff too, like EEG experiments and things, but who really cares about that, right? We love YouTube. Okay, that's it. I love you guys. Thanks for the positive energy on the last video. Thanks for watching. Remember, if you're feeling rejected and dejected, just look at all the things you've done. Think what little young 2-year-old you would think of you. Little 2-year-old me would look at me and be like, wow. So yeah, you take the year off to learn and grow, and don't treat it like a failure. My sister was saying, yeah, just go to St. George's University of London. Why would you waste another year? And I was like, oh, I really don't like your word choice. Like, well, please don't say waste another year, because that makes me feel like I wasted a year when I didn't really. Am I just making a YouTube video to validate my rejections? Maybe a little bit. But also, if you get rejected from 30 medical schools, like me, you're chillin'. We're chillin'. One day, we're gonna do something great. R-E-J-E-C-T-E-D, rejected. Alright, that's it. Peace.